tell you a story of a poor young girl named Talia. Talia is a senior high school student in the local school of the municipality of Moises Padilla. She lives in the rural areas of the municipality, far away from civilization. Every Monday is her scheduled day to pass all the modules and retrieve new ones from her advisor. But what makes it harder is the rough track ahead. She needs to walk 7 kilometers to reach the school because tricycles are not capable to pass by the forest-like area. And along the road, she will need to cross a river. Imagine the struggle when the sky is gloomy and raindrops are falling, making the soil muddy and harder to walk through. During weekends, she goes to harvest their vegetable crops in order to sell it in the market. A little help financially for her parents. Her mother, a house helper, and her father, a tricycle driver. She sometimes wonders if this is all worth it. When will her and her other 7 siblings experience the comfortable life? She immediately erased these thoughts. Why? Because she has no choice but to put up with it. As a person living in a 2-story house with an iPad, an iPhone, enough food to eat more than 3 times a day, I have realized that there are 2 sides in every story. 2 different persons experiencing various struggles as a student. Who are they? The privileged and the poor. And you know what? Both struggles are valid. As a privileged person, my main struggle is usually time management. I can say I have enough resources. I have an internet connection to keep me up with the online distance learning. But I'm more than just a student. I am also a daughter, a sister, an online seller that needs to interact with potential buyers to earn the profit for my allowance. Sometimes the workload may seem extreme and unbearable that I wish to be at 2 places at once. Same goes for Talia. She's also a sister to 7 siblings that needs her help in the respective modules. She sells in the local market as a simple token of help for her parents. She also receives a dozen of assignments that are due all at once. But what differs her from me is that they are a poverty-stricken family living in a geographically disadvantaged areas. Both are in a different environment. Both are students in the new normal. Both may realize that this new setup may or may not be effective. Both have no choice but to put up with it, not knowing if they will even finish the whole semester. And both struggles are valid. But what is unacceptable is the romanticization of their resiliency amidst the unpreparedness. The belief of government officials that Filipinos can withstand any hindrances and walls became a comfort thought for their incompetence. According to statistics, more than 19.5 million learners enrolled this school year, but there is no guarantee that they will even finish or complete the whole semester. And what makes it difficult is that one child left behind is one too many. We should make the necessary adjustments and actions to ensure that every person would receive quality education. As of now, there is a minimal substantial progress of the Department of Education. In fact, they did not even reach the 80% readiness during the month of August. Hence, the postponement of the opening. Only 40% of the teachers have been trained and ready for the digital setup. The 60% still needs to do independent learning. As a student, it is my right to be disappointed, to be angry, especially for someone like Talia who is denied of the basic and essential needs, as simple as having a cemented road to walk on in going to school. In fact, even before this new normal setup, students are already facing problems with mental health, with extreme amount of workloads, with traveling from one place to another with simply answering but not learning. And you know what? The government still chose to have a blind eye and turn the other way. What makes it bearable before was the laughter, the late night project making with friends, the little hugs and goodbyes before going home. But now that we are all alone in our household, that is where we realized how unheard we are. What is my point? My point is, these struggles may lighten in the first place if the government chose to be supportive and to offer resources. If only they use the budget for education to launch learning devices for public school students like gadgets, tablets, and internet connection for the city. If only they launched scholarship programs, because most private school students are even paying for miscellaneous fees like school laboratory, school library that they are not even using. If only the government acknowledged that the population is not only limited to Metro Manila and to cities, but also to areas with no signal, no tricycles, and no jeeps. If only. My disappointment is valid. The dismay of students like Talia is valid. Both the privileged and the poor's anger is valid. I stand here today to represent the voice of the unheard, to find who is accountable for this inadequacy, to fight for transparency, to fight for actions, to fight for quality education, to fight for 21st century learners, to fight for people like Talia. I stand here to represent all students shouting, pleading that no one should be left behind.